There are some things you must know about Starsand Island. Things you probably missed when you first started the game. I know what's important cause I played Starsand Island already for over 70 hours. And if you want to start your journey properly, then listen to my beginner guide with over 20 tips and secrets I wish I knew on day one. First of all, we want to go into the settings, guys. We have both for controller or mouse and keyboard. And as you see, guys, you can basically edit everything as you want. And the first thing you want to change is the camera sensitivity to completely max. This enables a lot smoother gameplay for sure. Let's talk about the most important hotkeys and interactions in the early game. You can move around with ASD, jump with space, and most important, if you press one-time shift, then you will sprint and you can toggle this on and off so that you can move easily around the map. With F you can just pick up things and you don't need even to hold for it. Chopping is also something you need to know, that if you chop just normally and clicking once the mouse button, it's like a small chop. And if you hold the button, you will make a big one. You should only farm with the big chops, guys, actually, because they are taking less stamina and also speeding up your farming progress in general. With the J button you can open up your quest menu. Here you can see all done quests, your main quest, the side quests, and you also can track and untrack the quest you want to do next. Pressing B opens up the new awesome inventory. You have twice 10 slots, which you can actually use for hotkeys on the number pads. If you press Alt and then the mouse wheel, you can also actually change up the slots so that you see what you want to do next. You can just drag in and out the stuff you want so that your hotkeys will always be super perfect. You're starting up with 50 slots and you can expand your backpack by even 40 more. For this you just have to go for the expand button and then gather the materials in order to get 5 more spaces in. This will be really important early on and also will be super good for just a really big backpack. And trust me, guys, you will want a bigger one. If you're near your house, you can press the C button to open up the building menu. This is actually really nice because sometimes it's really important just to reallocate things. Then you select something and press F. You can even rotate it in. And then you can just make the best build in the best shape which you really want to get. I use this to get here my bench from all the way in the back here where it spawns, up the way here to my place, so that I can sit down here and rest a bit for my stamina once all my furnitures are actually working. That's a really efficient use for it in the early game. Pressing M actually gets you on the minimap, which is really important, especially in the early game when you are not quite sure where things are on. You have here also map markers, which you can use. So if you're finding, for example, in the woods a really nice spot, you can just press the left mouse button, say this is my favorite spot to find fruits actually, and then you have here another marker, which you also can just left click on and then track. And then the map will actually exactly lead you to this position so you easily can get there. On top you also can see all residents which are actually living in Starsand Island. So if you need to have someone for a certain quest, you also can track them easily. On top you also can see where are your mentors if you want to do certain quests. And last but not least, there are plenty of homes and shops. And if you want to go to something specific, then also tracking this is in the early game really helpful, because you will not know where the things actually are. Once you start in the game, guys, the first thing you should do is collecting as many logs and also wood as you see laying on the ground, guys. Of course, we want to do first of all to craft all starting tools which we can. Because trust me, guys, you will be happy to have them really as soon as possible. Then we're going to the crafting table and crafting as many stuff as we can. You see, we only need stone and softwood, which we actually can get just from the bushes and stones, and also on top from our beautiful trees. Once we got all 6 starting tools, we are also getting on top actually a campfire, because this we will need for cooking also in the early game. If you do go next to it, you also can see which recipes you already have, and early on mushrooms is really good to cook and to get a lot of stamina like this. Mushrooms are actually around your house alongside with blueberries, and these two are actually things which are respawning daily. So make sure every day before you go sleep just to walk around the house and pick up all the mushrooms here just together with the berries. Of course, you can also use them for a lot of quests. If you do want to change your look, guys, then just press tab to get into your phone menu, and then you can go onto the wardrobe, where you actually can get 3 different outfits. One for swimming, one actually for sleeping, and one for the rest of the day. You also can make presets and save the ones you like, so you can basically dress you as you want day by day. Also on the makeup, you actually can just change your whole look. Here's kind of the same procedure. You can also buy more stuff, as I will show you soon, and also presets are here available. On top you also see like a lot of glowing things, and these are basically indicating things you can pick up. Some are really obvious like the blueberries, but sometimes also the smaller things you can't see that nicely, and then just this glowing stuff is helping you to find what you can just collect on your own. Also picking up actually takes 0 stamina, so that's kinda free loot, so make sure that you grab everything you can really just quickly, because as you see, it's also super fast just to get it and easy peasy. You will also find like a lot of treasure chests on the map, and make sure also to collect them in the early game, because they actually also give you like a lot of really good materials in the early game to speed up your run. But be aware, guys, not all of them are that obvious. Some are also kind of hidden, so also here you need to check every corner to don't miss any loot, guys. Also talking to random people can be pretty beneficial if they are tourists, because they actually also give you sometimes actually just some random blueberries. And while we're talking about free loot, guys, also there are some boxes near every shop of our professions. These are called charity boxes, and if you take a look inside them, you can get once per day actually some free loot referring to the profession. As you saw on the campfire, there are not much recipes available in the early game. If you are going simply here to our really nice Orion's restaurant, you can actually buy more recipes, both for your campfire and also actually for something called like a juicer. This will be your main thing. You also want to make juices and not only dishes. The recipes are here to buy from, and then you can use them both in your juicer or on the campfire. We also do have a day and night cycle, different weathers, seasons, and even different time, as you can see, guys. This is important. Not all the shops are open all day long. Serena's general store is open from 10 to 9 PM, for example, and the times also can be different on different stores. So make sure they're open if you want to buy something there. You also should always make sure that you go sleep before 2 AM in the morning, because elsewise you will simply fall in sleep and will lose half your stamina, which is something you really don't want to get, because this will ruin like basically your next day completely. Let's talk about the most important shops, especially in the early game. We're starting with Serena's. At Serena's store, you can talk to Serena obviously, and also to progress onto the crafting profession. This should be the first one you focus on in the very early game, because it is actually the base of every solid run here, because it is not only giving you a decent amount of gold in the early game, but you also will need the materials and processes you learn here for all other professions, so it's really base. At the shop you can get also special things like fiber softwood, which can be useful in the mid game, some drinks to get stamina back, and also ingredients which you can actually use to cook. And you can get a lot of processing equipment which you will need to progress your run. Next up we have actually the farming stuff, guys. For this we need to go to Grimoire, and he's usually in the backyard. He is the farming guy, and if you do well, guys, you can also grow some really nice big melons, as you see here. The shop though is actually in front, so we're moving here back, because if you want to get some stuff on the farm, we have to go here to this shop, and then you can see you can get fertilizer, which is pretty expensive though, and also here a lot of blueprints for advanced farming tools, plus seeds which you can farm onto your land. Make sure that you also actually only buy the stuff which has season, and usually there's also like an explanation mark on the things which doesn't have season at the moment. On top, I also have to say, guys, please don't sell anything you find in the early game, especially not if it's unprocessed, because you will not get much money and will need the material later. Here's Alex, and in Alex's shop you actually can get really a lot of stuff, just from a lot of furniture, decorations, but also new layouts, which will actually help you to expand your own home and give you also more farmland around it. You also can unlock here really a lot of decorations and even on top some furnitures, which you can then craft and put into the beautiful home you are building up. And also a new one is Silvan's Note Store. At this one, you can actually go and make some nice music or also buy some stuff. His shop will offer you not really much in the early game because it's also kind of expensive and needs actually also batteries which are pretty high and advanced. But if you have a nice day, you can just go here and actually play a nice song on the guitar, guys. And if this is kind of for you actually not good enough, then you can even go on to actually like some rockstar versions and then just go and make here some rock stars in Starsand Island, guys. Here you also can hit high scores, and it's like actually not that easy to do, I feel like, because it's a bit unused. At the coffee store, you actually can trade money for a lot of stamina. It's all really expensive, especially in the early game, but if you want to get some nice drinks or a cool cake, which is actually giving you a shit ton of stamina, then that's the right shop for you guys. And if you need some new decorations for yourself, guys, then Lunel's clothing store is the right choice. For example, you can get here new patterns actually, you can get masks, hands, shoes, even bottoms or sets completely, also tops and hats a lot. It's all kind of expensive in the early game, but once you got some money, this can be some really nice clothing for yourself. In the middle of the town, we have also the bulletin board, guys. It's really important that you actually grab 2 out of the 2 quests you can do per day, because they are giving you not only precious stars and points, but also a bit of gold and makes also the people happy for which you are doing this. This is the most efficient way to get consistently also stars and points in, which we will need later. On the map you also can see wild animals in the city, like little doggies, and you can actually interact with them, you can feed them, and if you're doing this, guys, which you can do once per day, then you also can raise the social level, not only of the residents, but also of your little cute animal friends. You have 5 different levels depending on how familiar you are with them. And you also have like a history where you can see what they like, what they dislike, and what they hate. So make sure only to do the things actually which they also enjoy in order to make this your little puppy pet friend. At the start of every day, you should definitely also check your mailbox, because you will get messages, which gives you not only useful information about the islanders, but also gives you actually free farming stuff. At the ranch here, you can get all kinds of stuff for ranching. For example, you can get feed, you can get animals, also stuff animals need to get happier, and also really a lot of stuff which you want to produce out of your farming stuff. In the back, you also can actually go here in and get every day a bit of random loot, which you also can just pick up for free. On top, you also can talk here to Pastel to actually get the apprentice for ranching and further stuff in. If you walk a bit more up the hills, guys, then we also can make sure to get our exploring profession going. Seffi is the guy who will teach us everything about how to survive into the Moonlit Forest. So make sure also to get the apprentice explorer as soon as you can, because he also will actually give you just a slingshot, which you will need even to enter the Moonlit Forest. His shop is also featuring a lot of useful stuff. For example, the mini sentry bots, which you can use if you don't want to fight on your own, and also just pellets and ammo, and even also some dishes. And later on, you also can make advanced arrows, for example, moonflower tea recipes, and more. You can also go and rent a scooter, for example. Then you just need to press R, select summon, and then you can summon your own vehicle, guys. This is pretty expensive in the early game, but I want to show you that it can be pretty cool because these ones actually are pretty fast. And later you can get them on your own. At Neona's store, you also can actually get later really cool vehicles and also blueprints for a lot of really cool stuff which you can write. But this is more late game stuff. Still, you can see what you actually want to work towards. Once we're coming here to the beach, actually, we also want to get some fishing in, guys. And that's why we're walking here to our big rail. At the fishing shop, we can not only get a lot of baits, we also can later make aquariums, get improved rods actually, and we'll also be able to get actually some fish traps, which can then farm for us passively. And while we're talking about all different professions, we also have actually to talk about the Workpedia, guys. Because here you simply have different perks, which you can buy through your Starsand points, which gives you special advantages. Make sure once you have the apprentice crafter to also get actually the stamina increase in. This is at least worth to put 2 points in, because in the early game this will be a really good way to recover your stamina. Also, getting actually more wood and other resources is really useful because crafting will be really important in the early game. Once you got the apprentice farmer, you also want to get actually 1 or 2 points just into the effortless tilling. That's really good. We don't want to fish in the early game. And the third one, which is really important, is just apprentice explorer. And then we want to get also the chance to actually deal more damage to opponents. These 3 things will enable us a really good early game. And now you might ask yourself, but how do we get like the gold and the Starsand points to actually get our run going? Good question, guys. The first thing you can do is to actually open up your star node and then claiming here everything you can. You also can look simply what you need for certain objectives, but it's just a good thing to level up all your professions. And also to explore the Moonlight Forest, then you will get like a lot of Starsand points passively. The next thing which is really important is just to progress your quests, because they all will also give you Starsand points and normal coins. This is really good, so that's why you want to claim always the 2 quests you can per day. And also talking to tourists in order just to maybe get there some additional side quests. On top you also can go into Island Life. And here are also things you can claim basically. You also can see which additional task you can do in order to get here also a lot of Starsand points. And this is also a really good progress on top. And last but not least for this section, the Islandpedia, guys. Depending on what you focus on, you also can get stamps, which then actually gives you also gold, for example, furniture or recipes. Especially the gold is like really useful in the early game. So also from time to time, just check if you actually have here stamps to collect money, which you can then go into progressing more. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Starsand Island guides.